Elizabeth Beisel in the house.
The Dan York State of Mind program is brought to you in part by Lookout Rhode Island and Takeo Comfort Solutions.
I feel like I found a long-lost friend. I haven't seen her in such a long time, but anybody who's ever had contact with Liz Beisel feels an affection and feels like you're part of her story, even though you may not have seen her for years. And oh, she's on Survivor. Oh, she made a mistake on Survivor. Oh, she had to write about that. Oh, and now she's got a new book, and everybody can kind of check in and live with it. And you know, if you watch the show on a regular basis, and if you don't, welcome, that Fridays are great chances for us to kind of just spread it out. No contemporary issues, because we record the show on Thursday, which means that if all heck is breaking loose and God forbid the coronavirus explodes in America, we'll take care of it on Monday. Well, I don't know if we'll take care of it, but you got to keep your sense of humor, folks. You really do. So welcome in, and with no further ado, here's the book. You got to do a book deal. You got to do a book deal. Silver Lining. What a great picture of you, by the way.
Thank you.
Long time no see.
I know.
You good?
Things are great.
You look wonderful. You survived Survivor.
I survived Survivor. I'm here. I'm living.
I have to tell you, all due respect, I haven't seen that show since season 2.
Trust me, there were so many people that were like, wait, that show is still on air?
Right?
Yeah.
But it has
And
a
it
very
is.
loyal following, or it would not be on the air.
I agree.
You recovered from it?
Yeah.
Did it wear you out?
30 days of not eating. Took a toll.
I mean, my God.
Definitely lost some weight. Don't recommend that's the way you lose weight. But
At all?
At all. That is not healthy. But mentally, physically, emotionally, very taxing. They deprive you of all comfort. So no beds, no bathrooms, no mirrors. You know, you are in the wild. It is real. And then as soon as you come back into reality, you're implementing the foods that you normally eat into your diet, and sleeping in a bed is almost hard to do. Your stomach is not happy with any type of food at all. So it was a big adjustment coming back into the real world as well. But I survived.
When did you get back?
I got back in May. So
Okay,
it's been...
So it took a while
Yeah.
to acclimate.
Totally.
But it seems like you kept the weight off and looked like you're in great shape and
Well,
the
thanks.
whole thing, right?
Trying to work out,
No, I mean,
honestly.
yeah.
Now that I don't swim 8 hours a day, I need to, like, probably eat less and work out smarter.
I just don't think anybody can even, they may try to imagine what it's like to be in the pool that length of time, day after day after day after day after day. But it's impossible to understand unless you're doing it.
I think so. And I think swimming is that unique sport where, because we're only relevant once every 4 years at the Olympics, nobody really knows the inside of the sport of swimming. It's not something as accessible as basketball or football or soccer. People aren't coming to our training camps and filming us. You know, you see us on NBC at the Olympics once every 4 years, and then aside from that, you really know nothing about a swimmer. So for the people out there that don't really know the amount of work and dedication and sacrifice that goes into the swimming world, it's a lot more than you probably think it is.
So not doing it as much
Yeah.
anymore means what?
Trying
Only
to
an hour a day, or
Yeah, well, no, I honestly,
are you done?
well, I'm done competing.
Yeah,
It was a toll, emotionally, physically, all that stuff. But I'm now trying to say yes to a lot more things that I couldn't say yes to while I was swimming. Whether that means traveling or taking different work gigs or writing a book, you know, it's stuff that I now have time to do that I didn't have while I was swimming. And so that's been really liberating, and it's been awesome to see life from a different perspective that I've never seen it before, because I was a swimmer. That was my life for 20 years. I never knew anything different. Yeah, I went to school and stuff, but aside from that, my life was the pool. So it's nice to not have chlorinated hair every single day.
Right. You sound really happy.
I am super happy. I'm happy because in the book I do talk about it. I had a very love-hate relationship with the sport that I feel like not a lot of people knew about. And I was lucky enough to end my career at a point in my life where I loved the sport. And I think for anybody in whatever it is that you do in life, whether you're an athlete or you're Dan York, if you finish your last day loving what you did, you're going to feel really good about the amount of years that you spent doing it. And so for me, I was able to end my swimming career on a really good note. I talk about the downs as well because I'm human. My career wasn't rainbows and butterflies like maybe some people thought it was. But I was able to end it on a good note, accept it for what it was, and then use that to leverage myself into a future, because I sort of dealt with a lot of friends walking into the 9-to-5 world and getting quote unquote real jobs. And there I was still in the swimming world doing clinics and public speaking and stuff like that, but not nailing down the typical job. And I almost felt self-conscious about that. Like, oh my gosh, like, what am I doing? Like, should I just move on from this swimming thing? I don't really know what. It was just me comparing myself to others, honestly. And then I finally woke up one morning and I was like, screw that. Like, I love swimming. It's what I'm good at. It's what I know best. So why not try to make at least somewhat of a career from this sport that I literally gave my life to? You know, I would be stupid not to. So I'm happy because I'm doing that.
You always wanted to swim.
Yeah.
Mom and Dad didn't force you to swim.
Never.
No.
They probably hated that I wanted to be a swimmer because you get it. Being a swimmer is hard, and being a swim parent,
Right.
driving the kid to practice every single day, sitting at a 5-hour-long swim meet to watch your kid swim 19 seconds. It's like, wow, that was fun.
Yeah.
You know?
If you've never done it, you know, I did do it for 6-7 years. And a Saturday is probably 8 to 10 to 12 hours sitting in hallways of a school somewhere for the cumulative potential 4 minutes worth of competition, or 5 or maybe 8 if they qualify for something, that they may compete over the course of the day. And hockey parents have their own sacrifice. Swim parents are definitely sacrifice. But your mom, yeah, your dad was always kind of, you know, behind the scenes and a quiet observer and just a great guy. Your mom got very involved, and she's an official. She's still doing the official thing.
Still.
I mean,
Almost every weekend.
And yeah, and so she embraced the sport in a way that was well past just cheering for you, which I thought was really cool.
And I loved it too because I was lucky enough to have Dad, who, you hit the nail on the head, very behind the scenes, didn't go to very many swim meets. He was always the one making the money for us to fly me to swim meets and go to practice and stuff. And then Mom was the opposite end, where heavily involved, was the official, knew a lot about swimming. So I sort of had a nice equilibrium where if I needed to get away from swimming, I'd hang out with Dad. Or if I wanted to talk about swimming, I'd hang out with Mom. And they just really complemented each other in a way that I think contributed a lot to my success as a swimmer.
Well, you know, not to make it all about Mom and Dad here, but what I think is really important for parents of superior athletes, and superior is an understatement for what you achieved, not only here but worldwide. Your dad, humble, and your mom, incredibly empathetic. And enjoyed the successes of a junior varsity swimmer, you know, doing a personal best, which may have been 3 minutes behind what her daughter could have done, really helped, I think, your reputation too. And kept you moderated for the success. I mean, the dominance you had in high school, never mind in college and in the country and the world, was so superior that you could have been a real
Oh, I know.
You could have been.
Yeah.
And you never were.
Yeah.
And then that's something. You know, I'm looking forward to reading the book. Just got it on my desk here, but am I getting this copy?
Yeah, it's all yours.
Thank you. But you know, I hope you recognize that's part of your silver lining, the way you were able to comport yourself through at least the time that we knew you when you were young.
Yeah, I do. And I know that it's because of my parents and coaches and teammates. And I do see people that have had great success in whatever it is that they do, sports or not. And they are sort of that, like, not great of a person. You know, they think that they're better than you. But when I go to clinics or wherever it is that I'm interacting with people, I always try to humanize the fact that, yeah, I'm an Olympian, but the only thing that I probably do better than you is swim. Other than that, we are on a very equal playing field. And who cares if I can swim a 400 IM faster than you? who cares? You can look up to me for that if you're a swimmer, but aside from that, there's no reason to put me on this massive pedestal, in my opinion. Like, let me inspire you, but also understand that I am a human and I deal with the same things that you're dealing with, and I make mistakes, you know, I mess up, but we move on from that and we always give our best, so.
When we come back, the pursuit of gold. Next. There you are on the road again in typical Liz Beisel fashion, you know, commiserating. By the way, I will tell you one of the things that my daughter and I do boast about is that she did beat you.
I believe it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
High school meet.
Katie York.
Yeah. She
There you
beat
go.
you. 200 yard.
What?
200 yard.
Was it freestyle?
She beat you down the pool the first time. She said, Dad, this is unbelievable. I cannot believe I'm in the pool with Liz Beisel. I said, well, you got to beat her. She's like, what? I said, yeah. You'll always be able to say you beat her for 25 of the 200 yards. I don't think she did. She touched the ball before you did.
That's awesome.
I don't even remember she finished the race, to be honest with you. She was so gassed.
That's okay, but she beat me for 25 yards, and that's all that matters.
That was.
We'll take the small victories.
But you know what? That's what greatness does. It makes people aspire to that greatness. And again, if you treat it in a humble fashion, it even makes it more enjoyable for everybody. You are writing about all sorts of things, silver lining-ish. I am guessing, based on a narrative we found on the internet, that the near miss on a gold medal is one of the things you've had to cope with.
Yeah.
Right? Because this is this narrative that you write, which had me hanging and then cuts off. You talk about this final medley final, and you write, once I hit the freestyle leg, a second wind came, knowing I was about to do what I dreamed about since I was a little girl. 100 meters left, and I accomplished the goal I spent the last 12 years chasing. Despite that I knew I was first, I was killing myself to go faster. I willed myself. I wanted to go as fast as possible. I literally was thrashing to the pool, doing everything possible to hold on to as much water as I could. Just a little farther than I was there. This was it. Olympic gold, finally. And the narrative stops on the internet. And I went, oh my God. And then I start researching.
A little cliffhanger.
I'm like, I know
see?
everything about
Did
this
its
woman
job.
swimming. What do you mean? What do you mean finally? And it stops.
Yeah.
Where's it after? What? Finally what?
I know. So
You got caught at the very end.
Mm-hmm. And
Not from the swimmer I think you were eyeballing the entire time.
No.
It was from the other side of the pool.
came out of nowhere.
Right.
And a lot of so that moment in my career was super defining because the media heading up into it, and even myself, I believed I could be the Olympic gold medalist. And since being 7 years old, that's my dream. I want to do that. So I'm finally at the point of my life where I'm going to make this happen. I'm touching first at the wall. I have a minute left of swimming. And I am in my head telling myself, I'm about to win an Olympic gold medal. And then out of nowhere, this girl who I've never heard of before, don't know who she is, passes me as if I'm literally stopped. And I remember touching the wall after that 100, getting silver, and really not even celebrating, but thinking, what just happened? Like, I was supposed to win, and I didn't. And then comes the wave of guilt where I've just let my country down. And I think that's a weight that a lot of Olympic athletes hold on their shoulders for a while is, we were supposed to win gold. We're supposed to be the best as American athletes, and I came up short. And I came up short personally, for my country, for my family, teammates, coaches, whatever. And so then I found the internal battle for years was, I am so excited that I won an Olympic medal, and it's silver, and that's really amazing. But also, it was such a disappointment at the same time. And it sounds crazy verbalizing it and saying it out loud, because anybody, even me now at 27, I'd be like, I'd love to be second best in the world at something right now. I'm not anymore. But I'd love to go back to that moment and actually appreciate what I did instead of being like, you messed up. You know, the president that's in the stands right now, he wanted you to win gold and you didn't. My parents, they wanted to win gold and I didn't. And so it took years of me sort of healing and realizing that even though I never became a gold medalist, it's okay. Like, I still did good things.
I'm sure you've had enough consultation on this, you don't need a shrink, but there's no way you could go back and be better at it.
Right. And
there's no way you can go back and be better at accepting second.
Right.
Because it was in real time. It was all you were trying to achieve. It's only in time, with maturity, reflection, that you come to that understanding. That's what life is all about.
Yeah.
I think most of the world, at least in, I remember watching it, we weren't upset.
Yeah.
We were just crushed for you.
And here I am feeling crushed for you.
Right?
Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
And it's like,
well, it's part of that, again, it's the relationship that you build with your fans, the people who are your friends, your family, and the people who just feel like they have an association, or that distant spectator who is watching an American swimmer, and boy, I hope she wins it. And their moment of disappointment lasts for about 2.5 minutes.
right, and then they're over it.
Right, but but you came home to a grand celebration.
Yeah.
Did that help when you did? I mean, you came back and you were there at the school field and everybody was nuts for you. Did it start to soothe then, or it's just been something that in the end there's still a part that you've got to be able to live with, reconcile, because it's about your personal journey, not ours?
Right. I do think that welcoming home helped, because another thing that I like to always talk about is that, like, when I'm at the Olympics racing, I have no idea that people at home are watching. I figure people are watching, but I don't know that it's hundreds of thousands of people.
If you did, it would mess your focus up.
Right, it would freak me out. So what I do at the Olympics is I shut my phone off. I don't touch that thing for 8 days. And then as soon as I'm done competing, I open up the phone, I send the thank you text. Oh my gosh, you guys are great, thanks for the support. But you're in such a focused state of mind, you don't want any outside distractions. So for me, coming home and seeing North Kingstown High School filled with hundreds of people, it shook me to my core, because I was like, wait, this many people care about me swimming? Like, it never clicked for me while at the Olympics. And so when I come home from the Olympics and I see this many people there, and it's like, wow, like that does actually make me feel better. These people aren't mad at me for not winning a gold medal. But then you go back to reality, and all the fanfare stops and life goes on, and then I'm back at school or at practice thinking about that gold medal that I didn't win. And I've definitely since healed, but I would be lying if I said I didn't wish I was a gold medalist. Of course I wish that. But
duh.
Right. But I'm done swimming. That ship has sailed.
Good segue. What's next? Stay with us. All right, so you survived Survivor. To be honest with you, I don't even get what trouble you got in there. So I'm not even. I just like it's that one goes by me.
We'll let that one go.
Yeah, Did you talk about it in the book? No.
No. This is just swimming.
That one was whatever the heck. Okay, so you learned a lesson. Okay, whatever.
Yeah.
You know what? You've started yourself for 30 days. You're going to make some personality bad decisions, probably.
Right.
Yeah, it seems to me, right?
You're probably right. Yeah.
So, life's a learning lesson.
Yeah.
You are new news. You're fairly glib.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing communications and speaking of some kind is in your future. You've actually done some network stuff already.
Yeah.
And that must have been a kick.
It was so fun.
Yeah.
Actually, great news. So I auditioned with NBC Olympics a couple weeks ago to sort of get myself in the pipeline for sports commentating, for swimming specifically.
Right.
Haven't heard back yet, but really excited for that possibility.
I'd put money that they'd bring you in there.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Because it's fun. I'm like marrying two of my favorite things.
Right, you've already done it, and you explode through the camera. So I'm sure that will turn out. Long term, though, rather than just project work, what are you thinking?
I think it would be more long term. At least that one scenario where I would get into the pipeline and I would do...
be their regular...
Right, so I wouldn't totally take over yet, but I would do maybe smaller meets, and then...
What about past swimming?
Past swimming?
Yeah, other than swimming.
Past
broadcasting
swimming.
past the swimming thing.
Got it.
Action begets action. You do well there. They'll say, hey, Liz, what do you think about this?
And I love all sports, and sports is my passion. Like, I just love I just love them. And so even if it's swimming at first, but then that turns into baseball or soccer, whatever, I would never say no to any of that. So hopefully something within sports.
Your public speaking, is it themed, focused on something?
I do like to focus on I have like sort of 3 core values that I talk to athletes about. And then I change it if it's a corporate setting, but it's working hard, believing in yourself, and finishing what you started. And I think those are things that anybody in the room listening can do. I'm not asking anybody to have God-given talent or be the tallest or the most muscular.
Right.
And so I talk about stories that coincide with those themes and be like, hey, these are resounding, themes within my career.
I got to tell you, I think the first 2 are normal.
Yeah,
The last one is your most important.
finishing what you started.
Well, it's funny. Swimming, athletics of any kind, whatever athletic learning you may have done, and of course, 99.99999% of people don't achieve at your level.
Yeah.
But my daughter and I have, from swimming, a theme, and whenever things get tough, we just say, swim through the wall.
Yeah.
Swim through the wall, which is something that coaches would tell you, swim through the wall.
Right.
I mean, the test is going to be hard. Swim through the wall, finish it. This interview is going to be tough. Swim through the wall.
Yep.
I don't know if I can get this job. Swim through the wall. These are things that athletics can help you learn, right?
And that can basically carry over into any realm of life afterwards.
Yeah.
And for me, I think, to go back to my parents, one thing that they did for me during my swimming career was I would want to quit all the time. Every athlete wants to quit at some point in their life. And I'd be like, Mom, Dad, I want to quit swimming. I don't like it anymore. And they'd be like, that's great, but you're going to finish the season. And if you still hate it by the end of the season, quit. But you're finishing what you started.
That's what parents got to do with their first kids' semesters in college. So many kids freak
Right.
out after a semester. It's like,
You're like, this is so
finish the
hard.
year
Yeah.
and then decide. Yeah.
And you end up loving it.
Yeah. It's a fine line between parents demanding what you need to do and giving you the room to experience the decision for yourself, right?
Right. But I was lucky that I knew that I loved swimming. I guess that's sort of my example within this, but my parents were also not hard on me, but they're like, we're investing our life in this.
Yeah.
You're going to see this through.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, that's only fair.
It's a team sport in a way.
Exactly. And so I'm lucky that I had team players through my parents driving me 45 minutes to practice there and back every day.
Right.
So I don't blame them for telling me that. And
Well, look, the book is called Silver Lining. Make sure you get it, at stores, wherever the books are sold. And I could talk to Elizabeth all day. We'll schedule her for the radio show soon, and I'll let you know when that's going to be. Congratulations on everything.
you're the best.
Love that smile. Final word when we come back. Do our best to check in on this coronavirus story, the real story, not the panic story, next week. I hope you have a great weekend. Smile, relax. Good night.